Well, the first Victoria Cross awarded to the submarine service was awarded to the commander of the B-11, which penetrated the minefield in December 1914 and sunk the Turkish warship Mesudi. Thereafter, a number of other submarines, including the Australian AE2, penetrated the minefield, went all the way into the Sea of Marmara. Sadly, the AE2 was sunk by a Turkish torpedo boat, but many others, the E11 being the most successful, went in and out of the Dardanelles on 3 separate occasions and sank over 80 ships of all sorts, from big battleships to small freighters. So the submarines severely compromised the Turkish supply route from Constantinople to Gallipoli during the Gallipoli land campaign.
Do you mean they compromised it by not...
By sinking ships.
Okay,
yeah.
So then they had to go by land.
They had to go by land, which meant it was a significantly long period to bring up supplies. I think the E11 sank a troop ship carrying troops and guns and all sorts of other things, which again was a devastating blow to the Turkish commanders of the land campaign.
And would you say that this was the first time that submarines had been used in this way, so effectively as a kind of fighting force?
Well, the Germans were very successful in the employment of submarines during the First World War. They were in many ways greater exponents of submarine warfare by attacking merchant ships at sea, but the tribute to the submarine crews of the British and the Australian submarine in the Dardanelles is that they went through a minefield through very narrow passageways to get into the Sea of Marmara. We must also remember that there were French submarines employed as well, so it was very much a joint effort.
And did the currents in the Dardanelles help the submarines in any way?
That's extremely interesting. The Dardanelles has an outflowing current on the surface of about 2.5 to 3 knots. Yet at something like 60 to 80 feet deep, there's a reverse current coming from the Aegean into the Sea of Marmara. So once the submarines understood that, they were able to go virtually unaided through at this very low level, perhaps 80 to 100 feet, the current would take them through. They still had to know exactly where they were. They had to rely on their good navigation, perhaps sometimes at night even to surface to check their position, but it enabled them to get past the defenders. Of course, they still had to go through the minefield. The E11, commanded by Lieutenant Commander Naismith, I think it was, went in and out through the Dardanelles on 3 separate occasions. And in fact, he and his crew were awarded decorations for their bravery.